Should Nvidia stock investors be worried about Broadcom and how big tech are making their own AI chips? Is this going to reduce the dependency of Nvidia's H100, H200, or the upcoming Blackwell platform? In today's episode, I'm personally going to talk about why you should not be worried one bit. I explain a lot, and by the end, you will understand the difference between ASIC and your typical GPU merchant solutions. So let's get started. But before we go any further, make sure to hit the thumbs up, make sure to hit the subscribe button, as this is going to be the best place you're going to get any semiconductor news for free. Also, check out the pinned comment for special offer at fool.com/Jose, and check out my free semiconductor daily newsletter at whatthechip.com. Link is down below. So let's get started.
I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for the subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
All right, so in the past few days, especially after Broadcom has reported earnings, we keep hearing this old tale. Hey, Jose, the biggest bearish thesis for Nvidia is companies like Broadcom that are helping big tech players develop their own AI chip. And it's very important to understand that, hey, look, yes, this is true that every big tech company out there is developing their own AI accelerator. I mean, we have Amazon, who has the Trainium and the Inferentia. We have Google that has the TPUs. We have Microsoft that has the Maya 100. We have Meta that has their own AI chip. We have reports that OpenAI is also working with Broadcom to design their own AI chip. All those companies that I mentioned, while are not specifically all working with Broadcom, they are working with an ASIC provider that is helping them design and make their own chip, or kind of go with the process with that. So many people are saying because big tech is developing their own AI chip, they're gonna reduce or not buy as many more NVIDIA chips as they previously were. And I believe that's a complete nonsense. That's complete nonsense. But again, first, let's understand a little bit more about the AI accelerator space. So in the AI accelerator space, there are kind of your merchant AI accelerators. These are ones that you can pretty much buy off the shelf. Anybody can buy it. You can be a Google, you can be a mom and pop store that wants to run AI servers, whoever you want. You can go to merchant AI accelerators and purchase a GPU from them. So those three players at the moment, or I would say one player, is Nvidia. They are pretty much the market in the space. Then there are two other players that are kind of designing, AMD with the MI300, and Intel has kind of their Gaudi 3, and their upcoming Falcon Shores that would also hit this market. But pretty much Nvidia's the market with massive, almost $100 billion of revenue this year, while AMD is a small piece of the pie there with about $5 billion this year in revenue in the AI market. Now, in forms of custom ASIC player, the most popular is Broadcom. And like I mentioned, custom ASIC solutions are when a big tech company this decides to design their own AI chip to help bring some form of efficiency into their clouding market. And one thing that I do want to say, I was going to say it, let's see if I remember, is, oh, yes, I remember. There's only a selected amount of customers that can do this, right? Designing your own AI chip, reworking it every year, every 2 years is an expensive endeavor. So only those with huge cash can be able to do this. And with a huge team, right? Because you're going to need a huge semiconductor team as well. Only those are ones that can do this right now. So if you're not a big tech, a big cash player, or someone who wants to diversify into a semiconductor space, then most of the time, you're just going to go through a merchant AI accelerator. So this is a great understanding of kind of the public companies out there in the AI accelerator market. Now, a few things to know is we have here kind of an estimate of the total addressable market for AI acceleration. And this company believes it's going to be roughly $202 billion in calendar year of 2028. Numbers are fluctuating so much, but I just want to show the bigger picture here. Out of this $202 billion of kind of the data center market, only 16% of that is expected to be on custom AI chips. These are your custom ASIC. So custom chips, only 16%. the vast majority is going to be your typical merchant GPUs, like that I mentioned here from Nvidia, right? So even though the thing is, this market is growing, right? The overall AI accelerator total addressable market is growing. So many people believe because custom ASICs are also growing in revenue, it means that they're taking market share from Nvidia. But I believe that's not necessarily the case. Because the market is growing, their shares probably are staying the same, but the total revenue value is increasing. I do believe for the ASIC market, there's huge growth opportunity. I own some of the players in this space, but the merchant AI accelerator is going to be the clear winner. All right, so now we understand who are some of the players in the merchant AI accelerators and the ASIC solution. Kind of a top level overview of the difference. We understand how the difference in market is as well. Now what I want to do is kind of discuss the real difference between merchant AI accelerators and custom ASIC solutions. So the first thing about merchant AI accelerators that is very, very important is programmability. These are chips that are highly programmable. They can adapt to various tasks. The way that they differ from custom ASIC solutions are custom ASIC solutions are only good for one type of workload, or maybe two, but typically they're very good at certain tasks only. So obviously that is really good. And the reason they end up building this is because if you build a chip that is only good at one thing, you can maybe do it a lot cheaper than Nvidia, because Nvidia is giving you the solution that you can be completely versatile. The other thing is, because it's cheap and it only focuses on that market, it can perform a lot better. But the drawback is is exactly that. It's only good at one task. And remember, the AI market is evolving at such a rapid levels. So if the AI market is growing at such a rapid levels, the workloads for AI itself may change. What workloads might have worked last year might not have worked next year. So a company like Google or like Amazon, they can design their own AI chips that are good for workloads that they know are going to stay the same. But with this AI evolving market, they still have to buy NVIDIA GPUs because this is a highly fluctuating market where it's just evolving at rapid paces, and the workloads, the tasks can change dramatically. So you need to be able to adapt to that change. And that's something that ASIC solutions can't do. The other thing is innovation, right? I mean, NVIDIA, obviously both companies or both places would have a lot of money, but companies like NVIDIA are developing at such a rapid pace, it's very hard for you to be able to keep up with that overall efficiency. So merchant AI accelerators, they're pretty much the jack of all trades, and they're actually and unfortunately, most of the time when you say jack of all trades, they're the masters of none. But GPUs are the jack of all trades and the master of a lot of tasks, while custom ASIC solutions are a one-trick pony. But with that one-trick pony, you're saving on cost, you're improving performance, your overall efficiency is better, and you're able to control a lot of the things. I am going to go a little bit more in depth on why you want to go with the GPUs opposed to a custom ASIC, but I think the most important thing is just the flexibility to be able to shift. And remember, in forms of AI workloads is not just one thing. There's so many steps in between where a GPU will be able to do everything. A custom ASIC would require a GPU to do maybe some portions, then it would take up the other workload that would be a little bit cheaper, and then it would send kind of like the ending stuff back to a GPUs to finish off. So you kind of have to do that efficiency building. So again, we can see how GPUs are very crucial. And remember, it's not just AI workloads that we need. We need all types of workloads from high performance computing, and the list goes on and on. Now I kind of want to do even more key considerations for GPUs versus ASICs if I didn't already kind of told you some of the important topics. So the first thing, and sorry, I'm just pulling up my information here, is kind of just the ecosystem and developer support, right? When you're designing a chip, you need to have some mature form of developer ecosystem. NVIDIA has done that, right? They have their CUDA, and they have their Tensor RTs. They have so many libraries and frameworks that are optimized for GPUs out of the box. But all these clouding companies that are designing their own AI chips, they need to kind of start this from scratch. So that's going to create kind of a friction, a very important friction for your customers, especially if you are a cloud market provider, right? If you're a cloud market provider and your customers are saying, hey, look, maybe I'll pay a little bit more to use NVIDIA's GPUs because when I'm running this workload, I don't have to go through all these hurdles. Instead, even though your ASIC chip might be cheaper, it takes a lot more work for me to develop my overall software solution in that chip, right? So the ecosystem and developer support, creating frictions is very, very important. And NVIDIA is developing its software at such rapid pace where it's like, hey, look, why would I want to go anywhere else? Then, like I mentioned, right, rapidly changing workloads and models. The AI space is still evolving at rapid levels. And this is very important because GPUs can adapt to these changes pretty quickly. Imagine if a cloud company builds a $10 billion data center on ASIC solutions, about $5 billion spent on AI chips for one workload. But let's say next year, right? Let's say next year that workload, obviously that's a little bit aggressive. But 2-3 years from now, that workload becomes obsolete. That workload and that $5 billion you just spent on AI chips becomes pretty much like paperweight, opposed to if you had GPUs. If you had GPUs, sure, that workload could change. NVIDIA GPUs will be able to adapt to that change as well. So it creates the ability for big tech companies to say, hey, look, I'm investing in this. This is not just going to become paperweight, so I really need to buy more GPUs overall. Then, like I mentioned, multi-workload flexibility. In cloud environments, hardware often must serve a range of customers and workloads, right? If you are running a cloud company like Amazon AWS, Microsoft, your customers are everything from AI app developers to maybe high performance computing to maybe education, scientific people. And not all the tasks that they do are AI specific. They need to be able to do other types of workload as well. So again, a customer would say, hey, look, why can't I just order my rental on a GPU where I can do everything instead of mixing and matching and seeing where I would get my efficiency? Because overall, that adds more friction. The other thing that we have to think about is kind of market pressure and risk management. I think this is, in my opinion, the biggest reason. Remember, cloud companies use GPUs for not just AI workloads, but for cloud workloads as well. And let's say we have two scenarios. Let's say we have Microsoft that is purchasing tons of NVIDIA chips. And then we have Amazon who believes their chips are equally as good as NVIDIA chips. Now, next year, you know what's going to happen? Oh, Amazon's going to continue to develop their own chips. NVIDIA is going to develop something even better. And customers are not going to go, hey, look, Amazon is cheaper. I'm going to go with Amazon. They're going to go, hey, look, Microsoft's workloads, Microsoft Cloud is so much faster than Amazon. That time is going to save me money. And because that time saves me money, I'm going to go with Microsoft. So with NVIDIA developing chips at such rapid levels, it forces those cloud companies to invest in NVIDIA GPUs, because if only one player has NVIDIA GPUs and those GPUs are a lot better, they're going to gain most of the market share as everybody starts leaving the competitors. So NVIDIA's highly innovative space allows it to be a monster and that every cloud company is going to want. The final thing, in my opinion, is just kind of the supply chain. While all these AI giants or big tech players are purchasing manufacturing most likely from TSMC, they're not doing it to the volume as NVIDIA, right? NVIDIA is creating a solution for everybody, while all these big tech players are only creating a solution for themselves. So very much off the bat, you can see that the volume is going to be much smaller. So if the volume is going to be much more smaller, who do you think TSMC? Obviously, they'll work with everybody and they'll make sure that they have great partnerships with everybody. But who do you think they're going to prefer? Let's say I was a big business owner, and my biggest customer asked for a lot more supply chain because they are willing to do it, opposed to maybe a smaller customer. I would obviously help out my big customer while still trying to make my small customer happy as well. But overall, I think by NVIDIA having these massive volumes, this massive need, and this becoming such a big customer of the supply chain market, the supply chain is going to gravitate to that player creating, well, this is a bottleneck supply constrained market. I think Nvidia will be able to take most of the market share here. So that supply chain agility is also very, very important. So hopefully I provided some information of what's the difference between your AI accelerated GPUs and your ASIC solutions. I mean, I think at the end of the day, both are very important, and it is very crucial for big tech to develop their own chip. Another perfect example for a custom ASIC GPU is, let's say you go to the same store every single day. Every single day. Once you do that, you know the best way to get to that store. So you create it kind of like your own unique way to get to the store because it's the fastest, it's the most efficient way for you to do it. That's what a custom ASIC solution is you know that one path and you memorize it. But hey, look, if I was to tell you, go to this other store, some other place, you wouldn't know what to do. That's a custom ASIC GPU. Now, a merchant AI accelerated GPU is one that is able to go to any store wherever you want, whenever you want. It's adapting, so it's getting better over time. And unfortunately, the thing is, because it can go to any other store in the world and knows how to get there, it becomes a little bit more expensive, opposed to your custom ASIC, which is just going to be slow. And if things start to change, right? If going to that store becomes a little bit different, if maybe the roads start to shift, for custom ASIC solutions, you can't really reprogram it. So you're kind of stuck with paperweight, where a merchant AI accelerator that's connected worldwide, that's constantly being developed, that constantly has innovation. So even if the roads shift, it still would be able to get to that store. So again, I hope I explained a little bit between the difference between GPUs and custom ASIC accelerators. I believe there's a market for both. I don't think ASIC is going to eat NVIDIA's lunch. I think NVIDIA is going to be the biggest market share player here, and it's going to continue. That was pretty crazy. I'm going to keep that in the video. Is going to continue to be a massive player, but we will see the revenue increase for ASIC. But that's not because it's eating NVIDIA's market share. That's just because the market is getting bigger. So both players can win. I own both markets, and I believe I'm bullish in both markets. But it's two things could be true, right? Custom ASIC solutions can win, but it doesn't mean that NVIDIA GPUs are going to lose. NVIDIA GPUs are also going to win. So take care, have a good day, and see you next time.